Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with another in our hopefully perpetual series of the world's most beautiful melodies. And today, the world's most beautiful melody is Tanti Palpiti from Rossini's opera Tancredi. Well, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? But actually, it's pretty straightforward. Tancredi is a knight who, in this particular case, is a mezzo-soprano, because as you know in opera, whether the character is male or female is completely irrelevant to the voice part, which they are going to assume, or something like that. All I can tell you is that opera people anticipated today's LGBTQXP trans something tendencies by hundreds of years. They were extremely forward looking. So Tancredi is a mezzo-soprano who is a crusader, and it's a very convoluted plot, which we don't have to care about, because we're only talking about Tancredi's initial aria, Di Tanti Palpiti, which, I have to say, was the greatest hit of 1813. Rossini was 21 when he wrote this opera. It established him as the foremost operatic composer in all of Italy, and this was his hit tune. But I'm not just going to play the tune, because in order to really understand the genius of this tune, you really should hear something of the context. Because I don't mean the context like the story. I mean the musical context. It's the first scene for the hero, Tancredi. And when he comes strolling in, he's in a beautiful park. It's like Act 1, Scene 2 or something like that. A beautiful park with birds twittering away, and he's returned from abroad, and he's looking forward to seeing his girlfriend, Amenaide. Now, Amenaide actually is a soprano. She's not a bass or something like that. She's a real soprano or a guy dressed in women's clothing. Doesn't go the other way. But yes, so he wants to see his long sought after Amenaide, and he sings about it. He sings about his happiness on returning home. Let's put it to you this way. The purpose of one of these entrance arias, or scenas, as they're called in the opera biz, is to introduce the character to you, to tell us who he is, what he's doing there, what he plans to do. So there's going to be a long recitative, in this case, an accompanied recitative, that is, sung speech, where he does that. He introduces himself to the audience, and then, only then, once he's done with that and explains what he's doing there, do we get the actual aria. Now, the words, I have the words here, actually. I'm going to tell you what the words are, because the beauty of Rossini's setting is that the actual tune, Di Tanti Palpiti, is of an absolutely sublime simplicity. It's just so simple and beautiful and instantly catchy that you will think you've heard it a million times, and you can't believe someone didn't write it before. But apparently nobody did. Lots of people wrote things after it that sounded like it. But the scene begins with an orchestral introduction, which is absolutely gorgeous, which sets the atmosphere, the pastoral atmosphere of the scene, because he's in a very beautiful garden of a castle. And then we have the recitative, and then we have the aria itself. And we're going to play the whole kit and caboodle, which runs about 8 minutes. And the performance is a marvelous one, by the way. It's part of Naxos's Rossini Opera Edition. It's with Ava Podlish in the title role of Tancredi, and she's quite marvelous. The point is to understand the musical preparation, which tells you how this glorious tune belongs in this particular setting, and how Rossini enhances the attractiveness of the tune, even though afterwards nobody cared about the rest of it. They just sang the song. But there is a whole scenario. So let's begin with the orchestral introduction, and then we'll take the recitative and then the aria in order, and you will find your pleasure immeasurably enhanced. I guarantee it. So here's the orchestral introduction. Beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. And when that's over, you're ready for the guy to come in, or the woman dressed as a guy to come in and start singing. And that's precisely what happens. Now, let's see what they say here. I have the words right here. Oh, he says, oh, motherland, sweet and harsh motherland, I return to you at last. I greet you, dear land of my forefathers. This is a lovely day. My heart is starting to calm in my chest. And then he starts thinking about Ameniade, his beloved. Ameniade, oh, my sweetest thought, my one and only desire of all my vows and heavenly objects, I've come to you at last. I can't wait to see you. I'm going to get you, or I'm going to die trying. And then there's a whole you who set this heart alight, you who give me courage, glorious soul, sweet love, support my beautiful aspiration. May the impious traitor fail as my temples are crowned. Okay, you get the idea. I mean, I didn't do the whole recitative, but those are the words. Now, the point that I want to make is that as this accompanied recitative, that means the orchestra plays along, as opposed to secco or dry recitative, where you just have like a keyboard instrument just doing a few chords underneath the voice. What Rossini does is he gradually brings the orchestra in with fuller and fuller instrumental forces. He first really brings the instruments in when Tancredi sings of his beloved, Ameniade. And I'm going to tell you where that happens. You'll see I'll put a little post thing there, so you'll see where she's mentioned. And then at the end of the recitative, he's so keyed up and so full of passion and love, and his juices are flowing, that he breaks into song, what they call Aryoso, which is almost an aria. It's a beautiful tune. It could be its own aria, but it isn't. He breaks off, and only then do we get the actual aria itself. So now let's listen to the recitative, and I want you to hear the increasing passion represented by the increasing musical richness of the accompaniment, which leads up to something. It introduces something. It builds tension. It gets the level of expression higher and higher and higher until it spills over into the aria. So here is the recitative. It's about 3.5 minutes long, but I will, like I said, indicate when he starts talking about his beloved. And that's when you really need to pay attention just to the music. You don't have to worry about the words. Listen to how the music flows. You see? You might think at that point you've already heard practically an aria, but no. Now you get the payoff. And the payoff is this delicious, delicious little tune that you will go away humming. I guarantee it. And the words are, let's see, what are the words here? After so many palpitations, palpiti, after so many worries and so many sorrows, from you, darling, I expect grace. You shall see me again. I shall see you again. In your lovely beams of light, your piercing glances from your eyes, I shall delight. Fantasies, sighs, happy voices. My heart says that by your side, my destiny will be joyful. Yeah. And it's only about 2.5 minutes long. It's not long. People have this exaggerated idea of the length of opera, and even Wagnerian opera, but the truth is it's built up to be long. But it works very well when you take it in pieces. Even Wagner, you take it in the bits as they come so you can understand what the relationship is between the words, the music, and the dramatic scenario. So now let us listen to the aria di Tanti Palpiti, the greatest hit of 1813, sung by Eva Polish with the Collegium Instrumentale Brugenza under Alberto Zeda on Naxos. Here it is. A delicious, irresistible little melody, isn't it? And I think that you can now hear how the way that Rossini introduces it is going to make it all the more special when you finally get a chance to hear it. But if you want to go and do it separately, it's the perfect length. It's 2.5 minutes long. It's practically a pop song. It really is. And that's what made Rossini's reputation all across Italy instantaneously in the intervening couple of years after 1813. So, it's unquestionably one of the world's most beautiful melodies, one of the ones that has attracted great singers since the day it was written, as well as not so great singers and organ grinders with their little monkeys and their thingies. And it's that kind of music. Such elegance, such simplicity, and such an instantly identifiable melody. The hallmark of melodic genius. So keep on listening, folks. Thanks for joining me. Take care.